What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Charles Branchy back today with another Phantom Parade video, and today we will be ranking every SR unit in the game, not just on global but on JP as well, because they're only adding 4 more in the whole duration of the game in the year the game's been out for. So without further ado, before we begin, please like and comment for more videos. As of right now, we are 5 subs off 100, so 100 will be a massive milestone. Please help me reach it by the end of the week will be crazy, but hey, 100 is like step 1 into like a trillion subs, you know what I mean? So let's begin. Alright, first of all, we have my boy Narutoshi Kamo starting off not too strong because he's not really doing that much. So he's, you know, in the main pool, he's on global right now. His skill 1 just damage, you know, nothing too crazy. Skill 2 is a stun, but I don't think it's even a guaranteed stun. Skill 3 is just a random enemy, which is kind of weird. And his ult is just you know, just regular enemy. I mean, regular damage again, but to a random enemy, which is weird because I don't think you'd really want that. So he's a kind of weird unit, I won't lie. Like, he gets a bit of buffs here, but he ain't nothing too crazy. So I'm putting him. Okay, I don't think he's trash enough to go, you know, he's like trash, but he's not like that decent either. So I think honestly he's going decent. I'm be real, boys, because he's going decent. Okay, so next we have Shoko, the last soldier of the OG high school, you know what I mean? So let's look at Shoko. Fucking this page, it wasn't working off the wiki for some reason. It took me like, I did like 2 re-records of this shit because it's fucking she wouldn't like work, so, but now she's working, so it's all good. HP by 137.6%. So it's just heals, which is, you know, pretty solid. And the same thing here with the ult, but it's all allies. So Shoko's actually decent. Like, I guess there's always use for a healer in like some way, shape or form. So I'm putting her decent. Yeah, decent, because you know what? This bum gets moved down there then, but yeah, she's decent because I don't think she's got like some insane use. It's kind of niche heals, you know. You got my boy Yuta for that, he's coming out soon. But yeah, Shoko's alright. So next we have our girl Momo. Momo's actually decent. She's actually really decent actually. Her SSR unit that comes out in about probably like 6-ish, no, not 6, probably like 3 months time. It's way better obviously, but the trend with like these SR units is that, especially the ones on launch, they drop and then they have a kind of better version of them, you know, like an SSR version that comes out, which is usually like way better. But right now on global, she's actually pretty decent. She's like an attack buffer, so, you know, just damage. And then here she increases damage by 68.7% and grants evasion status to self as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, like that buff is a pretty good buff. So on global right now, she's actually got some use. Not crazy use, but she's definitely a viable option. And she also has evasion as well, and a stun chance too, which is kind of cool. And she stuns all enemies on her ult and gets evasion again. So she's actually pretty decent. Like, she definitely has her use. I'm putting her fire. Fire, not fire. Okay, next, my boy Kaito Yuki, the OC man himself. Kaito Yuki. His rare version, I would argue, is better, but this tier list ain't for the rares. This is for the SRs. No black flash or anything, but he decreases enemies' damage by 22%, which is decent. He increases all allies. He decreases all damage received by 35.6%, which is, you know, decent again. And it also grants attack notification for an ally for 3 turns 2 times, and also increases their Jujutsu damage by 25.8%. So he's actually like a pretty versatile support unit, because he can help protect your team and help them do a little bit more damage at the same time. And similar goes with his ult, its damage and stuns. So he hasn't got too much going for him, but like in the auto skills, but just as a unit, I'd say it's actually really solid. I'm putting him in I'm going to put him in decent, I reckon, because he's not, I don't think Momo's doing like But what the fuck am I on about? He's not doing as much as Momo in terms of damage buffing, but yeah. Now, my boy Kento Nanami. Woo-wee! He's the actual fire, boys. Like, Nanami is a fucking great unit, especially for global right now. His Black Flash, damage, and then here's where it gets really good because he increases all out damage by 35.4% for turns, which means you can stack it, and it gets really big. And same goes for his ult, increasing all out damage by 27.8% as well as some damage too. And yeah, like, he's just a good support to have, you know. It goes for all the supports. Put him like first or second slot alongside my other boy we'll get to soon. But Nanami especially is a really good option. He's going right here. You can guess who the best support is. But anyway, yeah, like, I'd say any one of these three here, you can get really, really, really good use out of it, especially early game for Phantom Parade. And yeah, it's like, they're doing like all kinds of buffs, them two for damage and him for like more supportive defensive type stuff. But either way, they're all really, really solid. So I recommend investing in, so I wouldn't invest in anyone above this tier. Like, Kamo, don't bother, but anyone above here I'd say is, you know, recommended. But these two are the really worth it ones. Don't worry too much about these ones. So anyway, we have Gaku Kanji, the first dude, who is JP only right now. So Gaku Kanji, he's actually pretty alright. He releases with the SSR Yaga that drops probably about 6 months time for global, but they'll probably rush it, I don't know. And he has like some modes things. So in tuning, his skill 2, he increases damage and activates the alternative tuning state, which just changes the way his skills work. So on skill 1, if he's in his normal state, it just decreases Jujutsu damage by 10% and does damage. But then it changes slightly because he'll do more damage in his tuning and slightly change the things to damage received. So it's a little bit different. It doesn't change it too much, but he's still like, you know, pretty, like, he's doing decent stuff for his team. Same thing here, you know, damage increase and the tuning. And then here is actually pretty good as well because he increases all enemies Taijutsu and Jujutsu damage received by 25%. That's just in skill 1. By the time we get to 10, it's 37.6, which is really, 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 really good. And also have here, bit less damage, but he inflicts confusion on all enemies and stuns all enemies as well. And, you know, it's just a really solid, good option. But, and then the ult as well, we have more damage and more debuffs, and same goes for here. So, he's pretty good, I won't lie. His auto skills, you know, I've noticed that not many SRs have auto skills, but he's actually pretty decent. He releases later, so that probably explains why he's a bit better, because he's not really made for this like point in the game right now. I'm not going to say anything crazy though. I'm putting fire. Next, the LeBron James of this game, bro. The best supporter. So some messy type shit with the assists. We have Yaga, Principal Yaga. You know, I've gassed this dude up so much on my channel, and I will continue to do so because he is my GOAT. Anyway, what makes him so good? If you haven't caught on yet, it definitely ain't skill 1. It's skill 2, because level 10, 45.8% buffs for Taijutsu and Jujutsu, which is really, really, really good because he buffs everyone pretty much. Because there's those damages and those damages, you know what I mean? So yeah, he's really good. Same thing for here. He does a debuff as well, which is damage received, and 47.6 at level 10, which is good as well. And on his ult, he debuffs a shit ton as well. You know, increases their damage they take and all that. And Yaga is a really, really, really solid unit. Like, God bless the devs for making him an SR, because he's easy to get now. If it was a SSR, especially at the start of the game, he'd be a pain in the fucking dick to get, but he's not, so it's alright. So he goes, God tier. And even on JP now, like a year later, he's still GOAT status. So that just tells you right there what makes him so good. So anyway, we got Panda next. Panda. Okay, Panda. He's another guy that's not on global yet. He's coming out very soon though. He'll be right before Yuta on this SR banner. He comes out with Maki and Inumaki. I will not recommend summoning. At that point, I spend my AP, my crystals and AP refreshing over this. That's how much I do not recommend summoning on this banner, because there's no SSR feature. It's just SR. Like, what? Who is summoning on that? Anyway, although his artwork is cool, he is not. He's very basic. Just damage, a bit of debuffing, damage again, and just damage, which is an AoE. So he's not really crazy at all. I do not recommend summoning for this dude at all because he's on a banner, so I need to say it. Yeah, he goes running trash. Do not summon on him. Now, my boy Junpei said no one ever. I don't even want to like explain like why he's shit. He's just shit, but let's go through it anyway. So Junpei, this dude's cooked because I doubt he's gonna get a unit ever again because bro, who's a Junpei fan? Let's be real. Anyway, just normal damage, does a bit of debuffing, and he has poison. Like what he needed here is like, it's not an actual damage. He just applies debuffs. If he did damage here as well, it would be alright, but he doesn't. So it's just like, it's just mid the whole time. And then here as well, he has attack notification, but for 2 times only. So he'll get smacked up after those 2 times. But this damage increase is alright. But yeah, he's just not really doing that much. And he hasn't really got much damage reduction either. So his notification will be void, like useless pretty much after he gets hit twice. So anyway, yeah, he's just not very good. He has buffed with Tokyo High students, but it's weird because he didn't even go there, so I don't know what's going on there. I guess in that alternate dream world where he didn't get packed up and fucking turned into a weird thing about Mojito. Yeah, so he's running trash. Anyway, now, my boy Todo. This game does you so wrong, man. He's the legend in the show, but in this game, he is just dookie booty. So what makes him so bad? Doesn't do much damage. He has a weird obsession, like a weird thing with him increasing break damage, which is weird because you don't really see that often, and like there's no point using him just for break damage unless you're doing some break comp or something. But even then, I wouldn't really recommend it. But anyway, yeah, just damage, and then he does more damage if he breaks pretty much, or if he attacks someone that is broken. So he's not really that crazy at all, dude. When the manga content comes out, so probably like season 4, I reckon, of JJK, when we get Vibra Slap Todo spoilers. Oh man, that is gonna be the coldest shit ever. I actually can't wait for that. But until then, we have to settle with using shit Todos forever. So he's in trash as well. Now Maki, she's another unit which comes out with the JJK 0 banner, but not the unit banner, the SR banner. She's shit as well. We'll go on a thing real quick. Now what makes her shit? Again, she just does nothing. Like, it's damage, a bit of debuffing. She increases her own stuff here, which is okay. But here, it's just more damage, and then a bit of debuff, and then just straight damage. And it's not even that much damage either. Even though it's AoE, still nothing. There's really just no point in using her or summoning for her. Just no, like, you can get barely any use out of her, from being honest. So she goes right in trash. Now my boy Ultimate Mechamaru, dude, we are up to Shibuya now in the game. Like, as per the first Annie, we can get some like more stuff like this now, bro. When we get that Mechamaru, that like massive mech form he had when he fought Mojito, that shit is gonna be fire, bro. Hopefully it's actually like good, because although this Mechamaru isn't too bad, the SSR one isn't very good either. So yeah, we need some justice for my boy. Anyway, he's immune to everything, which is a pretty cool characteristic because he's a robot. But where he stands out, just his pure damage. Like, his damage, and then yeah, damage. Yeah, that's literally it. Just damage, bro. Just straight up damage. I wouldn't call him too bad though, because you can buff him up and he could hit some pretty nasty numbers. I'm putting him decent. Now, Maki, Mai. Where shall we put Mai? Let's go over it first. Yeah, Mai. Oh, you're not Mai. What the fuck? Well, you're both dead. So anyway, no Black Flash or anything like that. I know that. Yeah. So she's not too crazy at all. It's just damage increase. A stun, which isn't guaranteed. So and just more damage. And then here, her ultimate, all it really is just increases damage and does damage. And then that damage increase will only like prong if the enemy's in break or breaks. Break status or debuff. So she's not really that crazy at all. Her only like redeeming quality, I reckon, is she has this like follow-up thing where if an ally performs a melee attack, she can attack as well. But it's not guaranteed, it's 20%. So yeah, mid, decent mid. Okay, now Saki. You know, the fucking new girl on the block, you know what I mean? From the original story. You know, like, I remember on my first tier list, I said I didn't really know her. But I read the story, I actually don't mind her. Same thing goes with Kaito. But her SR isn't that good either. She's like pretty much a worse version of her SSR self. Which I say pretty often because, again, the SRs are just downgrades of the SSRs that eventually come out. So, what does she do? Bit of damage. She attracts enemies, attacks to herself, and fills ultimate gauge, which is, you know, that sounds alright, right? But she kind of falls off when you realize that over here, there's no damage reduction, and her only form of like damage reduction is 10% at the start of battle. So, like, she's attracting all enemies to herself, but she's not doing enough. Like, I'm sure she's still like an option, definitely, but not enough of an option to use her consistently at all. So I'm putting her like the best trash. Even though these are unranked, I'm putting her the best trash. Anyway, Inumaki, my boy Inumaki. He's also, you know, on that SR0 banner. He's actually like pretty decent. He's by far the best of the three, I reckon. I'll explain why. Damage, just, you know, normal damage. Bit of debuff, which is because it's pretty small. But this skill's alright as well. He has a taunt and he can counter as well, where it's 1 time per turn, which could be better, but he does counter, which is guaranteed, which is alright. And over here as well, just some more damage, and then over here as well, some more damage, and he decreases the enemy's ult gauge by 2, which is actually pretty decent, because you don't really see that ability that often, so I'm saying that's actually pretty alright. And his auto skill has just a chance to heal, because his skills do damage to him, which is kind of shit, but that's Inumaki's whole, like, shtick, you know what I mean? I'm putting him decent. Now, last but not least, definitely not least, we have Miwa. She's like a tank, a defender, as the game calls it. She's nothing too crazy, but just as damage, grants evasion, attracts all enemies, which is kind of cool because she can evade the attacks, which is always welcome. And she also increases her self damage as well. And she also gets a counter, where 1 time per turn, she can damage back to what she gets attacked with, which is cool. And her ult is just a regular damage. And she can attract random enemies attack like once per turn as well, which is, once per wave, sorry, which is actually pretty decent. I'd actually say like Ami was alright, but again, an SSR version drops, which is better than her, so I'm still putting her decent. So, yeah, like, what you realize is that a lot of the guys, apart from the supports, don't really have that much value, like bar maybe like a couple of these guys in here, and of course the top 4, but I'd say even the top 2 are the only ones you need to worry about. But anyway, all praise King Yaga. He's the fucking GOAT. He will continue to be the GOAT. As for the rest of the SRs, pretty much they all fall off. There's a couple rares you can use, but they're the main guys you should worry about. Just these 4. Build these 4. Build Yaga even more. And yeah, so that's it for this video. Feel free to argue with me in the comments. I got a couple stuff on my last tier list. It's all welcome, you know. I appreciate the engagement with, you know, my videos. We're so close to 100 subs. Please sub away, boys. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.